Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be comparing medium format film and 35mm film. So the two cameras specifically that I am comparing today will be the Mamiya RB67 and the Canon EOS 500. So you will have seen both of those cameras on this channel before. I have spoken a lot about each one of them in its own right. What I thought I'd do was do a video comparing both cameras using Portra 400, developed by the same lab, scanned by the same lab, and on two of the same shoots. I'm also going to throw some digitals in from the same shoots just so you can kind of see how that compares as well, but I won't be talking too much about that. For reference though, the digitals you'll be seeing in this video are shot on the Sony a7 III. So as you guys will be well aware, film is something that I'm still very much learning about, kind of discovering, exploring as such. So this kind of review, this kind of comparison is very much from a beginner's standpoint. So the first set of images will be coming up on the screen now, and these are shot on medium format. So I definitely like some of them. These ones where the model is kind of backlit are definitely my favorite of the set. Something, if you guys have been following this channel for a while, you'll know that I struggle with is nailing focus, and the focus was something that I was actually pretty impressed on with this shoot. Exposure, however, wasn't something I did too well. A lot of these images are underexposed, so I guess I just either have to take more care when I'm taking the photos or invest in a decent light meter. Let me know, by the way, what light meters you guys use if you do shoot film, because I am looking at getting a proper one, because at the moment I'm just using this app on my phone. If we look at the 35mm photos from the same shoot, we can see that I really liked how the camera performed. So I used the 50mm 1.8 on this shoot, and I think you can see kind of like for the close-up portraits, it's really sharp. The depth of field is really nice, so I'm really pleased with actually how that came out. I actually think that I prefer the 35mm shots to the medium format shots, which is something that I didn't really expect. Again, I did mess up on exposure a couple times here, and another thing is that I had my shutter speed a little bit low and some of them were a little bit blurry, but the one that I'm really referring to I actually quite like. I think the blurriness kind of captured a vibe that I kind of liked. Another thing that I find with this camera is that because I mostly use autofocus with it, because my eyes aren't really that good enough to kind of use manual focus, there's not loads of focus points within the camera, so it does kind of focus on things that you don't want it to focus on, but obviously if you use manual focus then that's going to solve that issue kind of for you. Another thing about the camera is that the center bit where you can like see the image most clearly, kind of, it's like a little bit low down, so I'm finding that when I'm shooting on this camera I'm leaving a lot of headspace. So yeah, my composition's like thrown off a little bit there. And then if we look at the second shoot, I think actually my kind of like opinion on it is pretty much the same. I thought I was going to prefer the medium format shots, but I actually prefer the 35mm shots. And I think what that is really is just because I'm more familiar with shooting with 35mm. I'm not really quite there with the medium format yet, and I'm focusing a lot on trying to make sure the images are in focus and maybe forgetting about, you know, nailing the exposure and things like that. I think as well, because it's an SLR, it's a lot more natural to hold, given that I'm used to shooting on DSLRs. So opposed to the Mamiya RB67, it's big, it's hard to use. I used it on a tripod for these shoots, and although it did help me a lot with kind of nailing the focus, I feel like it made it more difficult to kind of get the composition that I wanted. Another thing with medium format is I feel like I struggle in getting more candid shots. Everything has to be really posed and take like ages to kind of set up, whereas with digital and even 35mm you can kind of just, you know, get the photos out as you need them. You can kind of just record the photos as they're happening, and like it's more off guard. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know if you know what I mean. But yeah, I will throw some of the digitals up on screen as well so you can have a look at them. This was just a really quick short video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about my initial thoughts, kind of comparing the two cameras, and hopefully if you stick around on this channel you'll see my film skills develop over time, because I'm well aware that I've got a long way to go. But as ever, thank you so much for tuning in. This was just a short little video, but I do have a ton of content about film photography on my channel. So if you do want to head over and see some of my other shoots, then please do. You can find me over on Instagram and Twitter, where I share a lot of my work more frequently than on YouTube. If you did like this video, then please do subscribe and remember to give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys in the next one.